Yeah, but that's too much detail. I mean, it would get a little fussy. I do use windows. There's a painting upstairs with a lot of windows in it.
Okay.
And, but you have to really simplify them and downplay them. Otherwise you get a surface filled with detail and no general intent.
Okay.
Just a very little, lots of little specific impacts.
Right. Where you dilute the whole painter impact with all the little...
It's gone.
Because people have interpreted you like all this mysterious thing about no doors and windows, but for you it's the composition more than the doors and windows.
Yeah, I think it gets fussy and it detracts. And you know, I'm just dealing with shape and form. I'm not dealing with the specifics.
Because people have interpreted that no doors and windows into other stuff.
Well, I told somebody once, you know, in jest, and it really became something.
Oh.
I said, no, there are no windows looking in. I do a lot of interiors, and they all have windows looking out.
Oh, that's very interesting. That's really interesting. Well, this is my favorite, and Doug showed me, Douglas showed me everything afterwards. But I guess you just, I mean, if you like something, you just like that one. So he brought me all the way around.
Here we are.
You have to say that again.
You didn't hear what I said?
I missed that. Can you say that again?
This is the best show I've ever had. We mounted it better than anybody has ever mounted a show.
There you
Do you
go.
have that?
Yes, I have it.
Thank you.
How much is it going to cost us?
What are we
This one before, with the it's the trees without leaves in the front, or?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're trees. I forget they're trees sometimes. Near the end of the struggle, and I was just starting to make a living. And somebody bought an expensive painting, and they took it home, and I was very thrilled with the sale. And they brought it back. Their 11-year-old niece had come to visit and said, "But there are no windows." And then they realized there were no windows because it was such a part of the composition. Not that they shouldn't be there, because it was just
The quiet signs are the front desk.
And when they finally suddenly realized, well, there really are no windows, it disturbed them, and they brought it back. They had the painting for several weeks before they realized.
Are they allowed to bring a painting back? I've never heard of that.
Well, I think a gallery, if they have a good client, if they want, yes, they are. They have to honor it. You have to honor it. They usually won't give you money back, they give you credit.
Uh-huh. Well,
You know-
I guess it would be distracting sometimes for the windows because, you know, they're kind of edgy. So if you don't want to have so many
It's
corners.
a lot of detail. A lot of, you know, it looks, but there the detail is downplayed. And what's really
You
dominant.
kind of missed it, though.
I mean, it's misty, and what's really dominant is the mountain.
Mhm.
That's Montpelier, Vermont.
You had read about, yeah. Oh.
That's in Montpelier.
You know what I thought? It was Montpellier in France because we were there earlier this year.
Well, Montpelier in France is Montpelier, and in Vermont it's Montpelier.
Oh,
But it's spelled the same.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's like, well, we live in Alameda, and they don't call the street Versailles, Versailles. They call it Versailles.
But it's spelled Versailles.
But it's
So.
spelled Versailles. So
Well,
basically-
and down in New Orleans, I have a gallery on a street called Charter Street, but it's spelled Chartres.
Oh,
C-H-A-R-T-R-E-S.
yeah.
They pronounce it Charters.
Yeah,
It's
that's
really
really
Interesting.
interesting. Americanized.
Well, we say Paris, we don't say Paris.
Potty, yeah, you're right. That's a good
Hey, you know, my question is, you know, you are in many museums. I mean, is it that you donate your artwork to the museum or they collect?
No, they collect, but they really very seldom have money to buy. Some of them have bought, but there are collectors who leave my work to museums, or
Oh.
give my work to museums.
Oh, the collectors do it.
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
I
that's
see.
great. So you don't have to you don't have to
Oh, I don't
personally
do that.
donate.
No, I don't give. I don't give. I give to charity money, but I don't give my work away.
Yeah, because you
My
can't even
work
really
is-
write it
I'm a
off.
professional. A dentist doesn't give you his
Free
dentistry.
dental work.
You know, a doctor doesn't, you know, I mean, it's what I do. I'm a professional. I
Painting?
used to do a lot more. I used to finish a painting almost every day. Now it takes me a few weeks.
That's
I
neat.
work very hard on them.
Is your medium preferred when you prefer like oils?
Yeah. I do oils, I do some prints. Some mezzotints.
Oh, is this the book that we're getting? This is not the, I think we're getting the portfolio though too, so.
Oh, that's in the case then. That's the
Oh,
one
is
with the
it?
green case, yeah.
Oh, I see.
It's an interesting show, isn't it?
This is a nice space. I like this.
Have you ever had this many in one place, or how many
I
people-
have had big shows, but not the big. And I've never had this many
From before?
recent paintings all together.
Oh.
Usually more of a retrospective. These paintings, I believe, are all from within the last 3 or 4 years. Let's see, I think year 2000 is about the last painting.
So when did you start painting slow, and I shouldn't say slower, but when
Let me
did
just,
Yeah.
that takes a little time.
well, after being on the
Well,
airplane?
the more I could see, the more I do. As I learned to see better and understand the medium better, I learned to do more. I could see in canvas better. So I was able to, it's a part of development.
Right.
This came right out of my living room.
Really?
Yeah.
I noticed
That's
that
cool.
you keep things for a while, right? Do you-
Yeah, why keep it?
Well, I want to live with it. I want to understand better. Everything is the doorway to the next painting.
Right.
So, as I have a painting, as I do a painting and I feel good about it, I'm trying to learn when I'm working. I'm trying to
Right.
learn more about myself, more about the world, more about the complexity of seeing and connecting what you see with what you feel. So it just gets more and more complex. And so I have to, sometimes I can do something and not fully recognize
Yeah,
what it's leading to.
right.
Because it isn't just something in itself finished. All these paintings are steps along the way. And I get a better idea of where I'm going to go, or what I'm going to try and work with by understanding better what I've just done. And sometimes it takes me a while to get a real grasp of it. There's a painting over there with all the windows. See? I paint like that.
No, but it's so funny to read. Do you ever laugh at what art critics write about your stuff?
Well,
Because it's so funny.
and the painting next to it has one window on it.
But it's
but-
so funny, right? I mean,
I did paintings and drawings until 1967. And the dealer said, you would be a natural to do prints. And I resisted and resisted and resisted. And then I started making some mezzotints, some dry points,
Oh, dry
some dry points, which is just scratching on the plate with a diamond point, drawing on the plate with a diamond. And they were very nice, but he said, no, I want you to make lithographs. So he got me a commission to do 5 lithographs. I said, that's very aggressive of you, Murray. I said, I don't know how to make a lithograph. He says, you go down to the workshop, you spend 20 minutes watching what other people are doing, and you'll pick it up. And he was right. I was a natural. That was in 68, and until I made lithographs until 1990, which was 22 years. I made over 450.
wow.
And did a lot of lithographs. And one day I just didn't want to do them anymore, and I started doing mezzotint.
Well, I think the mezzotint really adds to your kind of intriguing,
nice.
mysterious quality. So.
And they have 1,000 mezzotints hanging upstairs. Well, maybe 140.
A lot.
It's old.
It's actually a little overwhelming to see it all.
It was a little trip for me because, it's really a chronicle of the last 22 years of my life.
Wow.
Silly question, but I'm just curious. What's the average hours you spend on a plate?
The average hour is about, the smaller plates about 100 hours. Some of them a little bit less. The larger ones, 150, 200. I only do the plates on the weekends. That's why I only do 10 or 12 a year.
So you
I paint all week long. I'm painting Monday through Friday, and then I'm in my studio.
You're primarily a painter. You have been since 1951.
I've been painting since infancy.
Yeah,
My first show was 1951. It's the most the thing that hit me the most immediately when I saw this room, and especially the room upstairs, is that I've done all this work all by myself in a room without anyone near, no staff, nobody to talk to, nothing, just isolated in a room doing these images. That's weird, isn't it? It's really weird.
It's 53 years of
Well, it has a good
isolated
sense
work.
of accomplishment, though.
It gave me a huge sense
That
of
you've had all
achievement.
these blank canvases that became.
I mean, I really feel very good about it, but I mean, it just represents a lot of solitary pleasure,
Oh, that's awesome.
right?
That's awesome.
Isn't that
You know, he
something?
started kind of the same time Charles Schultz did. My wife is a big Charles Schultz
Oh,
fan.
really?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
He
I
didn't
kind of
live long
have,
enough.
I have
No.
a very
He
diverse
just
taste.
didn't live long enough.
No.
What do you do?
Oh, I started my career as an accountant many, many years ago. Then I switched over to computer systems, and I've been doing financial systems particularly for about the last 9 years.
All my children are in computer.
Oh, I love
really?
computers.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, my daughter's in charge of the Second Circuit Federal Court Information Systems in New York City.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
a big job.
Yeah, it's a big job. She's 37. She's quite a bright little lady.
That's awesome.
Sweet, nice. Yeah, she's good.
I have another, I hope your camera can deal with pressured light that is either just happening or it's the very last light before darkness.
In some of the pictures, definitely. I mean, certainly it's true.
It takes on a whole
Oh, like
different
first
feeling.
light, like this is
Yeah.
more like first light.
And when the light is very low, with a rheostat, it's just with light on, just a little bit of light. It's very interesting what happens. I know. Someone discovered that years ago. I was very surprised and very pleased.
Now they become really bright to me. When I start looking at them, we have 9 of your pieces in my wife's my home. And whether we have light on them or not, they are alive.
Nice painting. I don't know, painting.
Yeah.
Well, you focus on shape and form, you said, and I think a lot of value too. So regardless, it's gonna hold up.
This one right here,
Oh,
I find
no,
is
sorry.
extraordinary. Is it?
There are 4 paintings in this room. 5 paintings, 6 that came off my living room.
Would
I
you point-
really just didn't want to sell, but I figured this is a big show.
Let me
That's
turn
one-
it on the lights.
Go ahead, look like.
I have, I'm not the only one, so there are certain ones that you would like to be able to keep.
Well, there's a lot here I didn't want to sell, but I figured, I'm a professional. How can I do more paintings if I keep all of my paintings?
What's that one?
This one, almost.
Which one?
This one. But that one for sure. That I had in my living room. This one.
Yeah. Thomas and Maria Payan from Columbia, Miami. That's who this is. They love this piece.
I had that in my living room for 2 years.
They have the piece also from the Butler Institute.
There were a lot there, weren't there?
I'm sorry, the very structural one looking through the
Oh,
window.
window at dusk.
Window at dusk.
Yeah,
Yeah, the guy's
Think of those two?
Is that the one in the other
Do they
gallery?
deserve those two?
They're very nice people.
And these two. The little one and the one that.
Wait, these two?
Yeah, I wasn't ready to give them. It's not that I wanted to keep
Oh,
them
it's
forever.
still in 2004, so yeah.
Well, I didn't want to give them, I wasn't ready to give them up. I really wanted to live with them a while, especially the big one. Something's going on there, and I'm going to pursue it a little further.
That's the back of our catalog.
It is, yeah. And the little one is a whole different approach. I really caught for the first time that a lot of the quality that a sketch has in a sketchbook.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
I
right.
see it.
I see it.
Yeah.
So did you, sometimes some paintings are almost like drawings a little bit?
Well, that's wonderful if you can do that. That's really wonderful. There's nothing more.
Well, I think you do
immediate
that a lot
than
though, because,
drawing.
the way you do the strokey thing,
Yeah.
it looks like a drawing, but with a paint.
I hope
you
so.
know.
I want that.
And then with the grass and ours, the strokey
Well,
things.
especially in the mezzotints. I mean, I'm the only one I know who uses a burnisher like a pencil. And, I don't know if you ever heard of Carol Wax, who wrote a book on mezzotint. she thinks of herself as Mrs. Mezzotinto. You
Oh,
know,
my goodness.
She's such an idiot.
But she's like that. It's not
She's so
somebody else
neurotic.
saying
She is so neurotic. But anyway,
Is she good? You don't like her very much. I've never heard.
anyway, she said, you only use a burnisher. That's not really mezzotint.
Oh. But
Why
an
would that
artist,
be?
it doesn't.
You're removing all the
It's-
thousands
it's-
of marks that
It's
exist.
moronic. She's moronic.
I love that piece.
Like
Yeah, that one I really like. I like that one.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, some of them kind of look like not a negative, but it kind of looks like a positive negative because they're almost like
Oh, well,
black and white.
Excuse me. I start with a canvas that has a neutral tone painted on it. I paint it with a neutral tone. And I let that dry. Then I work over it. So now, onto this neutral tone, I draw the shapes. I let that dry. Then I take light paint and I compose the negative. So that all the negative spaces in all the painting are just as carefully composed as the image, as the objects in the picture. So that then I go back and work more on the object. Then I go back and redefine the negative space and recompose it. And it's this constant back and forth between the negative and the positive. So you have this palpable tension between the negative and the positive, so that the space is not just a background, it's functioning.
When did you start doing that?
Pardon me?
When did you start doing that?
It seems
I'm looking
like
at
you've
19
always done
You've
it, though.
always,
I think
It seems like
I've always painted the sky, the background, in and amongst the leaves. I don't paint the leaves over the background. So all those little pieces of sky are composed and painted individually. Many times. With
yeah.
several coats of paint, several times, redefining all the spaces. And you have 2 weeks to sell a painting, and then I want it back. No, I'm kidding.
All right.
And then, you
I'll
know,
come back
also
tomorrow.
there's this sense of like, is it for Stella? That was my favorite.
Mm.
But like, they're kind of swirly. Like the leaves are kind of like, they're kind of like emerging. Like this one, how the leaves are kind of like emerging, like
Which
they're
one?
giving birth or something. This
Well,
one.
I wanted to call that the dancer, but I didn't.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it looks like the leaves are like, you know, like,
It's like a dancer on point.
yeah,
So
Oh,
are
it
your
is like
trees, are your trees representative of people?
poetic
Say
or,
it again?
Are your trees representative of people when you
I
say?
don't know.
not all, whatever it is.
I don't think about that.
Okay.
But I know that when I paint the tree, I assume the posture of the tree, like if I'm painting a tree.
Oh, really? So you feel it,
and
you
I'll
feel the
paint
tree.
a branch like this, and go like, yeah, well, you know, you paint with your body.
2.5 years ago, I sold a painting, and it was a large one. It was just the leaves were exploding, because it was incredibly difficult. It was just exploded. That must have been quite a posture to take.
Don't you have one like that in the room?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
do.
we have a couple. One is right there.
No, but you have a big one.
Yeah.
Oh, we have the,
it's a recent one, I've
Yeah.
seen
Is it
it.
in here?
where the,
Being such a small room.
There's a room
Maybe
with paintings. Where's
yeah,
that?
upstairs.
Upstairs. It's
Let's go on
upstairs.
upstairs, if you don't mind.
The things in beakers, is there some special,
Sometimes I have.
your beakers, is there some
Oh, beakers.
special
It's just sold last night. That was done in 1999. This is
Oh,
done
they are
in
vases?
2004.
They kind of look like beakers.
It was sitting on his wall for so long, and
But I
then he
think
created
that, I guess the
painting
breakthrough
from
is
it.
you do
It's a
the
brilliant.
branches, you're not just doing them straight, but you have that crisscrossing thing, because that's unusual.
I love that piece.
Oh, the one with the,
It's probably the most challenging thing I've done in years.
That one?
I worked on it, I put it away, I came and took it out, I worked on it, I worked on it. It was so difficult because I have a little pen sketch of it, and the sketch is so perfect and limpid and beautiful on the page, but most of the sketch is white paper. Now, how do you paint white paper? You know, that was very difficult. Finally, I made peace with the fact that I was not going to paint the sketch. I was going to make a painting, and then I gave up. And then I made a painting.
did you ever do a mezzotint as a sketch? Could you have done that?
No.
No.
Much too bright, maybe a dry.
Oh, it's too much.
Yeah, no,
It's high
would be-
content.
Yeah, you really,
Even though this, not sure that it is or not, but is this nighttime? Because so many people feel as though this is moonlight nighttime. I know it's in.
it's very hard to say because the light is my light, that's all. I need light, I put it there. But I don't need light, I take it away. I mean, it's just, I'm making a painting.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to
It's not a
capture,
documentary.
I'm not trying to capture something there. I'm trying to capture something here.
So could it be like a mood or a state of mind or, you know?
It's a conversation.
It's good, it's a 53-year.
I love the rock. I guess I like the stuff that's
Oh, the rock
different.
is cool.
I really like the rock.
That's my second rock. I did one 45 years ago, 43 years ago.
Wow.
From Central Park.
Yeah, in Central.
Oh, they have a rock like this?
Yes, there are many of them.
That's like
There are
just
many of them.
balancing there?
You know what it is? It's a glacier that left the boulder, and the boulder happened to land on another rock, on a larger rock, and was just balanced and stayed there.
Wow.
Of all the glaciers, of all the boulders that were left behind, every once in a while, one was left on top of another rock in a balanced spot.
Huh.
The other two mezzotints you have that are that size are two of the most sought-after mezzotints of your collection.
Well,
That's fantastic.
I'm very proud of it.
Yeah.
I want you to look at something. How are your eyes? Pretty good?
Pretty good. Let's see, you did
You
the
see all
striking
those
thing.
black lines?
Yeah,
Those black lines are where I did not draw,
right. Oh,
because I'm drawing them white. But I have a steel burnisher, and I have this near the final stages. I mount this on my easel, a special easel that I made to hold a copper plate. And so I'm stepping back and I'm going over here with my copper burnisher. But you don't go like this. You got to press.
uh-huh.
It's got to be controlled pressure. My hands get very strong because I've done that a lot. But all this, see all this?
Yeah,
That's really drawing with a steel
Yeah,
burnisher.
right.
Have you looked at that closely?
yeah.
I mean, look at these. I am so proud of this.
Many people think this is a break from what you've been doing, and I'm just
What
saying.
year?
In many ways, not just subject-wise, but stylistically. That's a tremendous accomplishment. And you
Well, this
see
is
it.
really like a sketch. I mean,
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
but
So
it's so much
drawing in
more
color.
work in a mezzotintt.
There's a
than-
softness to this piece that is unlike other
I really
things.
like
I think
it.
it's a wonderful thing.
Well, what year was this? Because I don't see the tag.
It just arrived in the gallery.
This
Yes,
is
there's
the
only
one I
one,
like. I
there's
like
only one
this
that
one.
is right.
This is the most recently printed message.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, they're downstairs, you can smell the ink. I'm very serious.
I like that.
When did it arrive? Yesterday?
Fresh off the press.
Yesterday or the day before? It might have got some
Fresh,
the day before.
fresh off the press. That's
Oh,
cool.
really?
This
is?
is the one I like. So Douglas, how much is this one? Do you know?
I always check. This is 3,800.
Yeah, I like that one.
Is that Frank?
That's both, not like it would matter, but the other two mezzotints, they're this size. One's 1950 and the other one's 25,000.
19,000.
19,000, I'm sorry.
No, you said 1950.
You said 1950.
1950 sold.
Yeah, you said 1950.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
said, but
I
I
hope-
meant
We have it on tape.
I have it on tape.
That's it? That's a contract,
I say
right?
it short for what it is. As I say 25, I mean 25. That's good.
1950,
This one I like.
1950 to me means you get change from a 20.
Exactly, me
Yeah,
too.
that was really
Isn't that
cheap.
like,
It's not
yeah.
even the 1900s.
I have a couple of those.
Are you, did you, or are you going to create a painting around that image? I thought.
Oh, it. Oh, God, I want to say it.
Okay.
Are you
You have
thinking
one.
about it?
It's hanging in my living room.
What?
And it's not leaving my living room. It's
have a
not.
painting of that?
It's
Oh, you
not-
have a painting in
it's
your
big,
living room?
It's big. It's,
But you're gonna call me if you get the painting in the living room, right?
I don't want, I'm not promising that to anybody. I'm not ready. When I'm ready,
Well, what does it look like? Can you tell us?
it looks like that.
It really does?
But how
To
big is
me,
the image?
Right, it's like.
To me,
it's
your
like-
mezzotints
Why
and
did you
paintings
ask
look
that?
quite different.
How big?
I asked also about the two
Yeah, I
bases.
tend to be
To
honest.
cover the
you
two
know?
bases.
I tend to be honest.
And that's, my clients got those pieces, and they are in love with that. They love the
Unavailable.
two bases piece. So
This is not available.
I asked because
But how big is it anyway? You said it's big, but how,
40 by 36.
what is that
Oh,
equivalent to?
36 by 40, yeah, 40.
It's like-
I'm sorry, 36 by 40.
Yeah.
It's this size tilted.
Oh, that size tilted.